following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona. Hey, Phoenix. Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Thank you for tuning into the program. Today's program, Medical Experts, America's Oxymorons. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? This is going to be a good one today. You'll need to hear this. I'm going to make some announcements. You make those calls. Thanks for your help. Thanks for supporting the ministry. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center in Central Phoenix. We're on 50th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. If you look on the website, HardcoreChristianity.com, you'll notice we have 2 services every week, live, Thursday and Friday nights at 7 o'clock. We never shut down for holidays or COVID-19, or 18 for that matter. On the homepage of the website, you'll see Sister Karen's on there. She is looking forward to listing your house for sale. Thank you for all the referrals you sent her. My daughter Tara is also on the homepage of the website. She's a licensed therapist in the great state of Arizona. On the website, you can sign up for our next seminar, the Encyclopedia of Biblical Spirits, Part 5. That's the final part. You won't want to miss it. The reception for that seminar has been very good. The reception for our women's seminars, which will be on January 16th, has been absolutely outstanding. Full houses, massive anointings. Please don't miss it. Sign up on the website. Also, my teaching class for deliverance and healing is the 4th Saturday of every month. Here in January, it's in the small sanctuary at the Arizona Deliverance Center. Starts at noon on Saturday. Don't forget to hit the PayPal button or download our Tithely app.com for your cell phone so you can donate off the website. We thank you for all your prayers and all your support. 2020 was a record year for us. It was the worst year for America, but the best year for us. Record number of deliverances from demons, record number of people healed, record donations. Thank you for your kindness. Don't forget about the miracle list. You can send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com, and I will send you that list so you can get delivered at home. Medical experts are America's oxymoron. Have you ever seen more frauds in the medical community over this COVID-19 hoax? This thing's unreal. The virus is real, but the whole thing's been gaspingly manipulated to control the population, and they want to control the idiots in the population, such as you and me. You're an idiot. I'm an idiot. They want to control us. COVID-19 is the best thing. It's a prelude to the real control coming down the pike, climate change. The National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, the expert there is who? Dr. Fauci. Have you ever seen a more blithering, incompetent, demon-infected doctor than this Fauci guy? I'm asking you that question because I have not. I have never seen anything like it. This guy lies so much, it's unbelievable. I've never seen a doctor that was wrong about so many things. It's gasping. It's jaw-dropping. This guy got into government work because he couldn't make it in private practice. Why? Because too many malpractice suits. If you work for the government, you don't get a malpractice suit. Got to go to the government. This guy is your typical government hack. In March 2020, Fauci was on CBS News, and he told them masks do not work. 2 months later, he's back on CBS News saying that masks do work. He said that he lied when he was on the show in March of 2020. He didn't use the word lie, but he said he misled people. That's how he did. That's what he calls a lie. I just call it a lie. This is hardcore Christianity, not some Mickey Mouse church or religion you might be involved in. He lied, and he said, why did he lie? He said, quote, to save the masks for the people who really needed them because it was felt that there was a shortage of masks at the time. So he just cooked up a story. Boy, he never stopped. Vaccines. Oh, here we go. He got on television and said that herd immunity could only be reached through vaccines if 60 to 70% of Americans were vaccinated. He then later got on the news media, this time with the New York Times, and explained that it was actually 70 to 90% had to be vaccinated in order to reach herd immunity. Why did he mislead the people again? Translation, hardcore Christianity. He lied as usual. Well, he said, quote, when polls said only about half of all Americans would take the vaccine, I was saying herd immunity would take 70 to 75%. Then a newer survey said 60% or more would take it. So I thought I can nudge it up a bit. So I went to 80 to 85%. We need to all have some humility here, he said. We really don't know what the real number is. Really? No kidding. This guy doesn't know what the real number is to anything. If you're listening to Dr. Fauci, you might as well be listening to a puppet in a circus. This thing is an embarrassment. He is an acknowledged incompetent liar created by Satan to deliberately mislead people about the COVID-19 virus. Later on, Fauci got on CNN and he said that herd immunity, no matter what percentage they use, is really just a, quote, guesstimate. It's a guesstimate. Can you imagine this? Fauci and the rest of these medical whores on TV and on the radio have been prophesying all kinds of things about COVID-13. They told us that we needed to shut down playgrounds, cancel church services, stop singing in churches, stop dancing. We need to cancel Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas. Really? No, not really. Strip clubs, liquor stores, big box stores, it's okay for them to be open in spite of COVID-19. It's okay for Black Lives Matter and Antifa to burn down buildings and riot in streets. No problemo. It's also okay to have celebrations by Joe Biden supporters after he, quote, won, unquote, the election. I use that term won loosely. It's okay for that. But if you're running a small business, you go to church, no, can't do that. Can you imagine that? These chronic lies about COVID-19 and Dr. Fauci's pathological lying and his incompetence caused people to panic. People panicked and ran out and bought all the hand sanitizer off the shelves. You couldn't even find it at Dollar World. They bought all the antiseptic wipes, scooped them up. Why? Because Fauci and the medical experts and the government kept lying about COVID-19, deliberately plotting fear and causing a panic. Fear controls people. It's Satan's number one demon for controlling humanity. He uses fear. And that's what these incompetent servants of Satan were using, was fear. The COVID-19 hoax caused the government to get into the ventilator business. They were manufacturing ventilators all over the country. They sent hundreds of them to New York City, who later donated them to a foreign country. They never needed them. The whole thing was a gasping hoax. In New York, the governor was screaming about not having enough hospital beds for COVID-19 patients. So the government sent them a rescue ship from the military. Nobody used it. It was in complete fabrication. New York City, for example, has statistics proving that COVID-19 spreads quicker during quarantine than any other way. They only had 1% to 2% of the people getting COVID in New York from restaurants. What'd they do? Oh, you know what they did. They just kept lying, quarantined everybody so that they could deliberately spread the virus, and then canceled restaurants, and all those Americans went bankrupt. They sent COVID patients into rest homes. They're doing it here in Arizona. They did it en masse in New York and New Jersey, killing tens of thousands of elderly people whom they wanted dead, whom they don't need anymore and don't want anymore, under the guise of COVID-19, and we needed the beds. Yeah, you needed the beds, all right. For what? You've made a bed of lies, is what it's amounted to. Folks, if somebody mentions something about COVID-19, it's so embarrassing, nobody knows what to believe anymore. I certainly don't, because it's impossible to sift through all the lies and all the exaggerations. Now we're onto the vaccine hoax. We left the racism hoax. We went to the COVID-19 hoax. Now we're onto the vaccination hoax. Can you imagine that? Elon Musk is the richest person in the world, save one. And this guy went to a clinic and got 4 COVID tests a month and a half ago. Do you remember that? 4 of them in one setting. He can afford it, trust me. 2 of the reports came back clear. He had no COVID. The other 2 came back and said he was infected. The testing hoax is still sweeping the country. The vaccine hoax now is sweeping the country. Medical care workers don't want the vaccine. Why? Of course you know why. You can't believe anything about this COVID-19, and these medical experts are servants of Satan. What applies to the Pharisees applies to these people. Jesus said, you are of your father, the devil, and the works of your father you will do it. He was a murderer and a liar from the beginning. He abides not in the truth. There is no truth in him. For when he speaks a lie, he speaks on his own. He is a liar and the father of lies. The next lie Satan is hitting us with, oh, you know what they are. Mandatory vaccinations, universal testing, tracking, tracing, all of it. Listen, friend, the devil's coming for us. I'm going to tell you something. Recently, we've had a number of people delivered from COVID-19, and believe it or not, it has come out in the form of a demon, a spirit. There's some kind of a spirit attached to this virus. We have had anointing services at the Deliverance Center and had virtually no COVID-19 in our groups. Almost nobody's come down with it. It's a spirit, friend, and if you need deliverance, you can come for it. 602-636-5800. You know better than to listen to these people on television anymore. The only truth you're ever going to find is in God's holy word. 602-636-5800. Here we go.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.